This is the same thing I've noticed in very successful people, is people that want, all of you listening, you want to start a podcast, you want to start a business, you want to get in shape, you want to do all these things. But then you come up with these excuses in your mind why you can't do them. Oh, I don't have the money. I don't have the office. I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right recording setup. This guy recorded out of, God knows what he used to record out of a VW van or whatever the fuck it was.
A fucking van. It was an Atlas. It was an SUV. What? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast of Determined Society. I have with me today one of my buddies here that this is actually the second time we had to record this episode because the last time there were some technical difficulties. But you know what? We go with the fucking flow and we're here and we're going to get shit done. So I appreciate his willingness to hop on right away again and redo this only a couple of days later. So guys, with me, I have an amazing entrepreneur that built his clothing line called Til You Collapse with a full sum of $300 with a family and not even knowing how the fuck he was going to grow it. So for the people that are sitting there right now and say that you can't grow something special and earn 7, 8 figures and be approaching 9 figures because you don't have the investment money, you're proven wrong, because I'm sitting right across from somebody virtually that I know, love, and respect that has done it. So without further ado, the big Persian daddy, Brian Nabavi, welcome to the show, baby.
Yeah, the big Persian. And you said my name right now, so maybe it's better a second time. Because now
did I say it wrong the first time?
I mean, a little bit. It's okay, though.
Did it? Fuck, man.
It's weird. You got it wrong my whole life. I don't know. You can call me whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, bro, maybe it's because I was just too excited the first time.
Perfect. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That was good. I'm going to go with it.
Doing it, man. The first call was amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Talk again. Like I said, right away for sure, because, I'm a man about taking action and getting shit done. And that's why I've gotten to where I've gotten. And I like talking to you. And I think our conversation was great. And if we can create something like we did before, people need to hear it. They're going to get a lot from it.
Absolutely.
It's real and genuine between us, so I'm excited.
Dude, it's always been like the really cool thing with my interaction with you. Cause for those of you that are listening, I met Brian on Instagram and dude, I was like super small. I didn't really have much going on. It was just, I was trying to find a way to really network with amazing people like Brian that are visibly building real businesses, because I wanted to learn, I wanted to watch, and more importantly, I wanted a network. And the thing that I always enjoyed about you, Brian, specifically, is your willingness not to just communicate, but be real and authentic with me. And I just appreciate you so much for that, buddy.
And another thing I'll do again, like I did last time, is, man, give you props, because like I said, your growth that I've seen, and everyone listening to this is the go-to man. I mean, look at his podcast now compared to 2 years ago when he messaged me. He was little. He barely had any followers. He barely had anything. And he's reaching out to these big name people. Not that I'm not a big name person. I don't feel like I'm shit, but he's reaching out to these people with businesses and following. And I think then I had a couple 100,000 followers, and I have some kind of presence online. And he had, God knows how many, 50, let's say, whatever. It wasn't anything to write home about. Maybe it was more. If it was, I apologize. But in 2 years, he's grown something. I see the interviews you put out, the people you interview, people that have been my mentors, that are now my friends, or people that are my friends. And like I said, I'm just proud of you, dude. Congrats. Like, you're doing it.
Thank you, man.
Breathing it. And it's gone. It's been a year and a half to 2 years. You've taken great strides. And anyone listening to this, you can do that as well. This guy just decided this is what he wanted to do, and he fucking stuck with it, and he stayed consistent with it, posted shit like we talked about, taking videos, doing shit that he's uncomfortable, that he sucks at, that maybe he's still not the best at, but he's still doing. And look at where we're in a short amount, in our life, relatively a short amount of time. Really.
Brother, I got to tell you, and for the people listening, that means a great deal coming from you. I know the circle you run in. I know who your mentors are. I know the presence that you have with certain people. So to me, it just means a great deal, man. And quite honestly, I think the number that I had was maybe like around 1,100, 1,500 followers. And, or, you know, it was a very small thing. And it's funny because, you know, you said something very specific there. And it was about, you know, I kept grinding and I kept doing what I was doing, even though I really sucked at it. I want the audience to be very clear. You have to be willing to be shitty at something. And in the last year, I mean, dude, it hasn't even been a full calendar year. Yeah. I went from recording my podcast in a Volkswagen freaking SUV, which I don't have anymore. Thank God. Literally from recording in an SUV to being in the room with Bedros Keuilian last week in less than 1 year.
Yeah.
So don't tell me, guys, that it can't be done. You just have to be, you have to spend so much time with yourself. And I'm sure, and I want to hammer down on this point, dude, because when you were building your company from $300, you had to spend a lot of time alone, but have extreme intentionality behind that time alone for you to grow something so massive. Right. So talk to us about that.
I want you guys to listen to what he just said, and I'm going to piggyback on that because this is the same thing I've noticed in very successful people is people that want, all of you listening, you want to start a podcast, you want to start a business, you want to get in shape, you want to do all these things. But then you come up with these excuses in your mind why you can't do them. Oh, I don't have the money. I don't have the office. I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right recording setup. This guy recorded out of, God knows what he used to record out of a VW van or whatever the fuck it was.
A fucking van. It was an Atlas. It was an SUV.
Whatever. Okay, a little better. I almost said VW Bug, but okay.
Bro, that would be sick, dude. Like, listen here. If you could get a retro fucking VW double bus, I'm sure there's one. I'm sure there's a stoner right around the corner from you somewhere in fucking Elk Grove that you can. But anyway, like if you, like, dude, if you just, can you think of the studio that you could put together inside that thing? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
You guys are making excuses of why the fuck you can't start or you won't start. And he did whatever he had to start his podcast in his budget. When I first started my brand with $300, I designed everything. It was dog shit. I used to take pictures on an iPhone 4. An iPhone 4 was my camera, my photography. I was a photographer with an iPhone 4, and my backdrop was my bathroom. I made a podcast on it. I called it Bathroom to Ballers. My bathroom, because the only place in my house, like, you know, you see these professional photo shoots have a white background. Well, my bathroom wall was the only place in my whole house that had enough white to look like a white backdrop. And I used to have to nudge up in the corner and at the right angle so you couldn't see the toilet and it almost looked like a weird angle. And that was my website pictures. That was my promotion pictures. That's how I promoted shit with the shittiest quality camera. I mean, iPhone 4 back then was good for a phone, but for photography, there's a lot better cameras for pictures. And that's what I did. And that's how I started the brand. And that's how I took pictures. And I didn't have all this money to go out and buy all this lavish setup and studio and shit. And everybody, I could have said, oh, I can't do it because my pictures won't look good. But I did it. And I started selling. And I started doing. And I progressed. And then you progress, you make a little money and you upgrade a little bit and you go. But there's no reason why you shouldn't start. Zero.
Right? So impactful, man. Like, dude, like, how many amazing things wouldn't be here if that person just didn't start, right? How many lives aren't impacted because of inaction? Inaction is your most expensive asset or whatever, your liability, like inaction. Sure. Why do you think people feel like, and I have my own theory on why people sit there and, to your point, go, okay, I don't have the camera. I don't have this. Because I could have easily not started my podcast. I was just ignorant and naive enough, right, to be like, fuck it. Like, I heard Anchor has an easy app. I'm just going to download it on my iPhone and I'm going to fucking record, right? And I remember the first recording I ever done was the shittiest thing I've ever done. The shittiest fucking thing I've ever done. It's my most listened to episode, right? It's, you know, but it's like, as bad as it was done. Yeah. Why do people get stuck in the inaction?
That's what this society is about. Excuses. Everybody makes excuses about everything. An excuse to why they can't do something or why something happened. They got to take accountability. Hey, take accountability for everything. And the accountability is why you're not starting it, why you're not taking that action for whatever it is, fitness, business. It's all the same. It all boils down. The excuses stem from fear. Everybody's fearful of fucking losing. And you're going to lose. The problem is, and I tell people this all the time, you're going to lose more than you win. And you have to lose to win. You can't win without losing in every aspect of life. Because like we talked about, that loss gives you experience. That loss gives you knowledge that builds you as a person and mold you to be able to handle that win at the higher level. You won't be able to handle the win at the higher level if you're this lower level person that has zero experience. If you're caught in that weird place that I'm too scared, I'm not going to do anything, then years pass by and they wish and they have regret, and then it just snowballs into a horrible thing.
Dude, I feel like the world would not be able to handle if you and I lived in the same area.
I know.
Like, because we would be lighting people up. Like, here's the thing. Like, just like you said, fear. Like, everybody fears failure. Like, failure is the devil. No, failure is your friend.
Yeah.
And if you understand him or her well enough, because we have to fucking, whatever nowadays, it could be a her. The bottom line is, failure is your indication that you're onto something. And if you stop because of the paralysis that is onset by not wanting to fail, you're fucking cooked. And guess who's going to lose out more than anybody is your children. If you have children, like, they're going to see you being an absolute asshole and not trying anything. And they're going to end up doing something low level in their life and not having any money. And sorry, guys, like, money's essential. If you want to have some type of freedom to be able to go do cool shit with your family and live life on your own terms, you need fucking money. So if you're sitting here thinking that, well, money isn't everything, the fuck it's not. It ain't going to give you happiness. You could be the richest person in America or on the planet. You could be the most miserable person at the same time. But my point is, money is not the root of all evil. The definition of money is the root of all evil, right? So what you guys need to understand is that failure, that fear of failure, has to drive you into positive action. So for me, like, again, like, no one's like, what is that? Immune to failing. I had 7 sales calls last week. I sold 0.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But you know
what? It wasn't the right time.
The sales calls, you got better. You got more experience.
It happens, man. Like, the excuses, dude. Like, it bothers me because there's so many people right now out there that refuse to step into their greatness for an excuse.
Well, it's ingrained, especially as we progress as a society. Everyone gets a participation trophy. Nobody really loses. Everybody wins. So the fact that losing is just such a scary thing because nobody loses anymore. There's no losers. There's only winners or second winners or participation trophies. Fuck that. There's a winner and there's a loser. You win or you lose.
Dude, I can't remember what it was like in Little League, but I don't remember ever getting I don't know, maybe like at the end of the year you got a little shitty trophy. Yeah. But if you won, if you were the best team in the league, that bitch was huge. Yeah. Right? So there was a big differentiator of what kind of trophy you were getting. Now everybody's got to have the same trophy. It sounds like communism or socialism.
I got my
socialism. Sorry.
It's such ingrained in my boys, and like my boys have gotten like second place tournament trophies and stuff like that, and like they don't even want to wear the trophy, like take a team picture, and they're like holding it with a bad look on their face. All the other kids are all like, yeah, my kids are like pissed, and like, they don't even like hang them up, but like that's how you breed, that old school value, those old school ethics that is going by the wayside. Like, there's winners. Yeah. Your word is your bond. Treat people how you want to be treated. Like all the old school stuff, like that these new generation, I don't feel like have. It's us as parents. Us as parents, it all boils down to that. It's not the kid's fault. It's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault of, being like, if you're a parent, our job is to teach these kids and be an example of everything we expect. So as a parent, all these parents aren't examples of these values. They don't teach their kids these values. So, I mean, yes, it's aggravating to see these kids and how they are, but they also respond. I've coached teams and I've been around kids of all types. And I've noticed how quick they respond to someone like me, a leader that takes charge and guides them and is a strong figure, even just barely from the outside in. I notice how kids' attitudes change, their personality rather quickly, rather than a parent that's not really showing up as a parent, where almost like I noticed this, and it aggravates me because kids are everything, and I do the best I can. Like I said, and I'm around as much as I can, as much as busy as I am, but I make sure I'm present as fuck. I'm there, and I'm really impactful on what I represent and what I teach them by what I show them, and also how I communicate and talk to them. Right?
Love it.
And you get these parents almost aggravated by their kids, like annoyed by their kids taking up their time. Go to your room and get on video games. Go to your room and get on iPad. I need my me time. Like, motherfucker, I understand, but you shouldn't have been a parent. Like this is your responsibility. Raising these kids, and my kids are my everything.
Mm-hmm.
Who they are and what they develop in is my main goal, right? Like, they come like before me. I have to come before me. And this is something I struggle with, whereas like I need to be healthy. I need to be loved. I need to be happy with myself. And I do a good job at that. But I will die for them. I will stay up 22 hours a day if I have to. It means me doing something for these children, because they're my mission. They're my everything. And that's being a parent. The second I held that baby, that was a responsibility of mine. And I, you know the same thing. But I just don't get how parents are like, they try to blame the kids. Well, motherfucker, who are the kids learning from?
Yeah, dude. It's so
like you're a bad example. Like kids have different personalities, but like us as parents, we got to take responsibility. Like, we're molding this person, what we do and don't do with these kids, right?
So impactful, dude. Like, I want to touch on something you mentioned. Parents being super short with their children and snippy with them. Hey, go to your room, play the iPad, get on, play a video game. Fuck, I need my me time. Quite honestly, that all stems from being unhappy with yourself and how you attack your own day. If you wake up and the first thing in the morning that you do is break your word to yourself, how in the fuck are you going to take care of your kid? You can't do it. There's no one on the face of this earth that can refute that with any type of an intelligible response that says, hey, I can let myself fucking slide and still be good to my family, especially my kids. You can't, because you don't even have any self-love. And guess why I'm saying this? For those of you that are triggered right now, I'm saying because I'm fucking been there. And there's times in my adult life, I'm 44 years old, I go in and out of that fucking thing. I get so focused on building the show, making the show the best it possibly can be, staying up late at night, Dr. Google, find ways to engage people, whatever it is. How to get this person on my show? Who does this person know? Who does that person know? How can I leverage it? Like, motherfucker, the bottom line is, when I do that and I just give so much time to that specific task, the next morning, I don't wake up at 4 a.m. And if I don't wake up at 4 a.m., I don't go to the gym because my life is too busy in the morning. I have 3 beautiful children that I want to cook breakfast for and be around. Okay. And those breakfast moments suck when I'm unhappy with myself. So parents, if you're finding yourself, right, going around being super reactive to your beautiful children, first of all, understand they didn't, like my wife always tells me, they did not ask to be here.
Yeah.
You chose for them to be here.
Yeah.
You made a choice to have children, right? And so here's the thing. When you snap at your kid, ask yourself, where's this coming from? How is your relationship with yourself contributing to this horse shit?
100%. 100%.
Bro, fires me up, man.
If you're not yourself. So everybody, figure out how you become happy. Stop neglecting yourself. Stop just fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Drifting through the day. Yeah. Mindlessly, aimlessly, 9 to 5, hating your job, giving 50% effort. But then again, you hate your life because you don't drive a Lambo and you don't have nice things and your bank account's negative. Well, it's on me. Like I talk about all the time. There's so many things in this life that fall on ourselves. As far as, look at what I built. I barely graduated high school. I built a 7-figure company barely knowing what I was doing, just figuring out on my own, because I have the core principles, work ethic. I take action. I'm disciplined as fuck. I'm consistent as fuck. Those are just basic things that you control every day. Every day you fucking wake up, you put your feet on the floor, you control that day, the amount of hustle and heart you put in that day. How much hustle and heart are you putting into every single day of your life? Are you giving your passion, your soul, your everything, your attitude? Some people say attitude and effort. I like to say hustle and heart. Every day you fucking touch the ground, you make a conscious decision. I'm going to go into this day and I'm going to give how much of my hustle, your work ethic, your effort, and like Till You Collapse still falls in the same thing. Till You Collapse. How much hustle and heart you put in? 100% effort every day. Do you leave it all on the field, in the office, in the gym, in your bedroom, in your relationship? Are you exhausted? Did you leave it all on the field? Or did you? Did you take advantage of the gratitude of having another chance at this thing called life? And did you give your all into everything? Or did you kind of just 40% it like most people out there and barely fucking did any effort, anything you do? And it's every single day, guys. It's day by day. Start looking at the days, start winning the days, and those add up very quickly. And you start doing that, you start making progress. And it's in everything you do. Start taking, like, people, like, the little things matter just as much, if not more, than the big things, because the little habits, the little efforts, they reflect who you are at a core, and then you do that in everything you do. You can't just be that way with something big, and then the little things you're not that way with. It doesn't work that way.
See, that right there is the secret, right? We talk about, certain like facets of life, right? Whether it's your fitness, then you have your spirituality, your relationship, your finances, or even dreams you may have. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So let me be very, very clear. If you're struggling in your business, you're probably struggling in your nutrition. If you're struggling in your nutrition, you're probably struggling to get your workouts in. If you're struggling to get your workouts in, you're probably struggling in your relationships, because now your cortisol level and your stress level is so damn fucking high that you are a nuclear bomb. And I've been that guy. And like, I feel like 2022 was just a lot of me going in and out of those things, to a point where I realized, like, hey, like, I really need to make a consistent change. Like, where's the dude that used to do 75 with his eyes closed? Like, where's Sean at? So, by the way, today's day one. I really don't want to do it. I don't want to. I don't want to. Let me be very clear to you, Brian, and to everybody on here. Like, I do not like doing 75 hard. The reason I do not like doing 75 hard, because it brings out a perfectionist complex in me that is not good for me. So it's an opportunity to run towards it and say, okay, how can I navigate it this time? How can I be better through it this time? How can I take that 75 hard, no excuses, no compromise, into my relationship with my wife, into my relationship with my kids, right? So for me, like, that is everything. And, you and I talk a lot about, how our children see us and the examples we make. In fact, we've talked about it just here in this specific conversation. Like, and dude, it quite honestly, it starts at the dinner table. It starts at the breakfast table. You and I both pride ourselves in being present for meals with the family. What does it mean for your children, your wife, and for you within your family unit to eat meals together?
I mean, it's everything. I mean, it's something that we have no compromise in. We never have. Like, everybody notices. The funny thing is we do it every night. We've done it every night. Even back in the day, when I first started my first company, when I was literally working 20-hour days, working a full-time gig, and coming home and working another full-time gig. The only thing I did, as little time as I got with them, the one only thing we did was we had dinner together. And it was literally probably the least, back in those days when I was building and both were going on, it was the only thing I made sure we didn't compromise, because, when you're in your phases, the whole concept of balance is going to change as you go through phases. When you're building something, there's not much balance. There just can't, because, something has to give. Like, if you're all family, than your business, or the time towards that. So something is always given, whatever it has to be. But when I was in that phase, the one thing that didn't, even though our time was probably the only hour, 30 minutes we got together
Yeah.
all day in a 24-hour period. But it was together. It was talking. It was asking how your day was, asking your high, your low, your days, and just communicating and being there, and that's always been there. And that's something I told myself would always be there. And that's really, it's crazy because it doesn't sound like it's that big a deal. But I've seen a study where they were saying, like, it's something about, I forgot what the study was, but it was a study, and the numbers were crazy for families that have that family unit dinner every night versus families that didn't. And it was like 75% different in a negative way for families that don't have that family dinner together. So as much as you think, oh, it's not that big a deal, oh, it is a big deal. Like just that time with your family, with your kids, the communication, the structure, and something they can look forward to. Because I notice I don't go out of town much. I don't travel much. But one thing I do notice is my kids even say, we missed you at dinner. We thought about you at dinner. So it's something they realize. And if I'm not there, they pick up on it and they miss it.
Bro, there's so many valuable lessons at dinner. First of all, we exercise gratitude.
Yeah.
All right. And then we talk about what's one thing that you did really well today.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up question is, what's the one thing that you could have done better? But the ultimate question is, how did you help somebody today? Like, how were you helpful to somebody? How'd you make someone's day? And to a point where, when you're going through it, to your point about you don't miss many dinners. I've been having to travel a lot lately. And, it was Monday when I was in California getting ready for the interview with B. And I realized, I'm like, dude, it's like almost dinner in Florida and I'm missing it. Like I miss sitting down with my family. It's almost like, don't you fucking eat without me. Like you better get a TV dinner. But no, it's the most important part of my day. And I have a lot of parts in my day that I feel are important, but the time with my children at the dinner table, I mean, or even the breakfast. Honestly, breakfast is even more fun.
Yeah.
Like they come downstairs excited to see you. They're just like smiling ear to ear. You got a little girl, man, and you have one son that's still a little bit small. And then you've got your boy who's going into he's a sophomore, but my kids, all three of them are young, like 9, 6, and 4. And they wake up and they're like, Daddy, it's just great.
That's the most funny. I miss that.
Yeah, dude.
It's
good stuff.
So the funny thing is like, one thing that we ask each other is like, what was the best part of your day? What was the highlight of your day? What was your high? And they all go around, they tell me or whatever, and then they all get to me. And the funny thing is my high is always the same thing. It's always oh, Dad. Every time they ask me, and they still ask me, and they say, oh, we already know. It's right now. It's being here with you guys.
Yeah.
You guys. And I'm like, that is.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't matter how good a day I had in business, whatever happened, no matter how, whatever they know. And that's genuine. That is, I've thought about it and I've tried to think of things that better, but that's how much I love these kids and my family and coming home and seeing them, how hard I work and how little I still get time. I feel like I work a lot, multiple companies, and I still feel like I don't get enough time with them. But what I've done to combat that is really been aware in the last few years. I've grown a lot as a man, as a person, is I'm a lot more present with my time. I used to try to spend more time as far as quantity of time with them, but now I spend much more quality time. Like no distractions, the phone's put away. It's not even on me. I'm not even worried about it. And one thing I started doing is I started to try to, with 4 kids, it becomes difficult. But I try to get my little nooks in after dinner where I spend 20, 30 minutes individual with each of my kids. I go to their rooms, wherever they're at, and I get a little one-on-one time with Dad and have some meaningful conversations or really dig and talk to them and communicate with them. And they get that special one-on-one And it's only 20, 30 minutes, but that's
Yeah.
everything to them coming from dad. I'm not there all day long. And I try to make a point of they get, because when they're all together, it's distracting with 4 crazy kids. But with your kids, really make sure that, and this becomes something as a parent of multiple kids. It's crazy. I get it. And it's hard to do. It's not like when it was you and one kid, is give them that one-on-one time and really communicate with them. And you should know your kids, different personalities. They have different likes. Really hone into what they like and talk to them about what they like and let them know, like, play to their personality and do that as a parent. Our job to know our kids and really play into that. And that's made a world of difference. And that's been really in the last couple of years. Because I used to play that game where I'm here for 2-3 hours. I left work early, but I'm on my phone and it's like, I'm not really there.
Yeah.
They sense it.
They know. They sense it, man. And it's funny because, my wife always tells me, like, to your point about quality versus quantity, right? Like, she goes, Sean, our children just want like 10, 20 minutes uninterrupted with you. And then they're done. They're fucking over you. They're off doing their own thing. Like, it's much more impactful. Like, if I were to go outside, throw the football with my son for 15 minutes, it's gonna be way more impactful than if I sit there and watch Black Adam with him on the TV. Yeah. Although we do that as well. Like, he wants to watch Black Adam, we're gonna fucking watch that shit.
We went through old school movies. I took him through all the old school Rockies,
man,
classic movies. I'm like, especially like these kids nowadays are like, what movie is that? I'm like, you guys got to know the classics,
Yeah.
But you guys,
what's your favorite Rocky movie?
I like them all.
Your favorite?
I really like the Drago.
Yeah, 4 is my favorite too. Like, hands down.
I like that one. I like the last one too. I think with Tommy.
Oh, 5.
Yeah.
Tommy Machine Gun.
Yeah, Tommy Gun.
That's a good one too. 3 is amazing with Clubber Lane. Like that. That's incredible.
I like them all.
They're all good, man. Anyway,
they're all good. But listen, guys, I want you guys listening to this to really realize this shit is fucking hard. This is very, very hard. There's nothing easy to this shit at all. I want to paint a picture for you. I've lost everything. I barely graduated high school. My kids add and spell better than me. Still to this day. I'm going to paint a picture for you. I lost everything. As a father, as a husband, I failed. I've always been the sole provider. Back about 13 years ago, lost everything. Everything was repoed. Had nowhere to live, 50 grand in credit card debt, 450 credit score, nothing. I failed my wife. I had 1 baby at that time, and I had another baby on the way. And my most important job is being a father, a husband, a provider. I take most pride in that. And I failed. And that chip has been on my shoulder for the last 13 years. And that fear and that chip motivates me every day to go just as hard today as I did when I had nothing, just as hard when I was building. Nothing's changed because I have that fear of going back, and I never want to feel that again as a man. And I took $300 and I built it into 8 figures, and I have multiple companies, and I work my ass off. I have 4 children. I have 3 companies. I work out 2 to 3 hours a day. I work at these companies. You think this shit is easy? Listen to what I just said I do on a daily basis at 40 years old. This shit is fucking hard. It's not going to be easy. Everybody's saying it's easy, it's quick, it's going to take a long time. And you have to really make a decision within yourself and have that realization with yourself. You're going to have to put in a lot of work for a lot of years. And the main thing is doing shit you don't want to do, especially when you don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day. Every single day I start my day with 2 things I hate. Cardio, the stairs. You think I like that? I start my day at 5:30 a.m. in a freezing pitch black garage doing the stairs every day. And then I go to taking a shower, and I go from hot water to freezing cold water because I don't have a cold plunge for 2 minutes. So going from hot water to cold water, and not just quick, but standing there for at least 2 minutes, and it's cold outside, it's winter. That's the way I start my day every single day, Monday, yes, still on Saturdays and Sundays. There's no
Well,
compromise in that routine.
it's funny because I hate to interrupt you, but I'm going back and forth with him, guys, yesterday on voice memo on our cell phones, and I could clearly tell he was on the stairs.
I was. It was
On the stairs, and it's just like, and to dude, like when it didn't even register to me because I'm like, I like have this perception that you live on those motherfuckers. Like like, I know you, so I'm like, oh, he's on the stairs again. All right, fuck, okay. But I want to touch on something really quickly because I feel like there's been a lot of people, whether it was, the recession back in 07, 08 ish, where I lost everything too. My car got repoed. I had to short sell my house. Or, when COVID happened, the pandemic, and everybody lost everything, small businesses were forced to shut down, gyms lost everything, or whatever. Now there's a big recession looming, right? We are in a recession and there's a lot of things going on. So my question to you, walk the listeners through what it takes to understand and lean into your situation. Say, okay, I lost everything, but there's two choices there. You can sit in a pool of your own piss and continue to lose everything and not be a provider for your children and your family, or you can make a decision to choose differently. Walk them through some of the strategies that you went through mentally in order to bring yourself where you're at right now out of $300.
Well, one of the things, and I always talk about, and I always go to this, and I believe this is the cornerstone, you've kind of already touched base on it, is fitness. Fitness has been my passion. Mm-hmm. Fitness has been my passion throughout my whole life. And fitness should be, honestly, fitness, working out, being healthy, the qualities that it takes to do that, especially at the level that I do, the consistency, the discipline, the dedication, the qualities of that, you take those and apply those anywhere in life. So I've always had those qualities since I was 13, when I taught myself how to work out at 13 years old, and I was a fat kid and I lost a bunch of weight. So I've always had it inside me. So when I went through that loss, because for me, my goal was always to have fancy cars. Like, how do I drive a Lamborghini? How do I drive a Ferrari? How do I get there? And I lost everything, and I had no other option. Like, there's no option for me because I am the only option. There's no other option. I am the only option for my family, my wife, my children. So for me, there's no option. You fall down. I got knocked the fuck down. Get up. That's fine. There's a loss. Like I tell you, you're going to lose more than you win. Dust yourself off. Life goes on. Take that L, swallow it, learn from it. Okay, what did I learn from these lessons? What did I learn from? Okay, well, back then I was a dumbass. I was making $100,000 a month, and I never had made money before. So I was spending money like a dumbass. And even though I had a wife and a new baby, I was uneducated. I didn't have anyone really teach me about that. I've never touched money like that before. Okay, there's a lesson. Be smart with your money. Plan, strategize, and that's things you have to go through as you age and as you learn experiences. So I just went back to the basics. I said, okay, I know I'm a salesman. I've always done sales since I was 15 years old, commission sales. I've always made six figures based on sales. And I always can fall back on my sales, my consistency, my disciplines, all my stuff that stems from fitness. I'm going back to that. So I went right back into sales and the fitness. I went back to my passion because I left, never do this. And I experienced it. I left my passion for money. I went to chase money. I left my passion. And when I did that, I lost everything because I hated doing what I was doing. There was no passion behind it. So what you have to do is figure out what you're passionate about. And if it's an easy way to monetize that, okay, but there's ways to monetize any passion you have. There's ways to figure out and monetize it. And if you do that, you'll be like me, where I'm 10 years in, still working sometimes 6-7 days a week, still working 12, 15-hour days. And I love it. Like literally, there's not a day that goes by that I don't love this because I'm doing my passion. And this life is not an accident. I created this life. So whatever you're doing right now, whether it's business, whether it's you're working a 9 to 5, you are controlling whether or not, like we talked about, you control every day, the outcome of your day. You control it up here. If you're not happy, if you're not doing something you're passionate about, well, who is that on? That's on you. Get another job. Figure out another company. Do something else, because all you guys chasing or starting a business or doing something for the money, that's going to end. Because when shit gets hard, or when it's drawn out, or when you've been doing this shit for years, you're going to burn out. You're going to hate it. And when you hate something, you can't do it for the long haul. So
yeah, man, like, dude, like that right there, finding your passion and finding a way for you to turn it into a monetization situation, right? Profiting from your passion.
yes.
You know, a couple more things I want to ask you, because we're getting close down to where we got to land the plane here. But dude, how important is you've been very open about your mentors, right? And what they mean to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want this to be burned in the forefront of everybody's mind after you say what you're going to say. There's a lot of people out there that seek mentorship that aren't willing to, like, when it comes down to nut cutting time, they will not invest. They don't see the value. Oh, it's too much money. It's costing me this, when it's really not costing them what they realize. It's costing them everything, not the money. But how important is mentorship to you? Like, how important are your mentors to you?
I mean, it's everything, honestly. You hit the nail on the head. So for me, and for anyone listening to this, you should be able to get from 0 to right about 7 figures. Realistically, you can do it. I did it just listening to Andy's podcast, the MF CEO. Andy and Ed are my two main mentors, and now they're personal friends with them. I text them all the time. I'm personal friends with them. But that was built through, I went from 0 mentorship, 0 anything, to, okay, oh shit, I just built this business. I worked making nothing for 5 years, 15-hour days, making $0 for 5 years. You hear that? Almost losing it all, having to hustle on the side to keep my lights on so my family didn't kick on the street again. But I wasn't going to let that happen, because that little motherfucker on my shoulder, I told you, I did whatever I had to do to keep the lights on for 5 years. Then I hit that point, the tipping point, which you'll always hit if you put in enough consistency, effort, pivot. You can't keep doing the same shit like a dumbass. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Don't keep doing the same shit. That's insanity. Mm-hmm. You have to pivot. You have to change. Figure out what works. Okay, it's not working. Let me change this. Let me change that. And keep pivoting and changing until you find what works, but it takes time. Then I'm like, oh shit, I have a 7-figure company and I'm a dumbass. Frankly. I mean, I own what I am. I'm not the sharpest tool.
Yeah,
I have a lot of good qualities. I have a lot of good qualities. Like I told you, those qualities are, I'll work harder than you. I'll work longer than you. I'll do shit I don't want to do more than you. Those are good quality. You can build 7 figures on those qualities, obviously.
Shit, yeah.
So that's what I am strong at. What I'm not strong at is systems, process, stuff like that. Like, I'm still not that good at them, to be honest, because I'm real as fuck. Like, I don't like them. That's why I'm not good at them.
Yeah.
Things you don't like, to be real.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, okay, now it's time to invest in myself. And I went from not investing in myself to here's $50,000 for the Arte Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are scared to spend, a couple grand on a mentor, coach. It's everything. Learn from someone that's been through. But here's the thing. When you're learning from someone, learn from someone you resonate with. Learn from someone that's actually building real businesses, doing real things, that have real things to show for it. Not these fake motherfuckers out there preaching it's easy, it's fast. Do it like I did, regurgitating information from other people when you haven't built any real company yourself, dude. Your company is scamming people out of money, regurgitating books you've read. That's not someone to learn from. Learn from someone you resonate from, someone with the life that you want to live, doing what you want to do, that you can kind of look up to and see yourself within. That's the best mentor to have, someone you can see yourself within. And you just, I wish I would have done it earlier, because if I could have skipped, here's the thing. There is priceless. It's priceless to, you have to go through this. You have to go through the steps. You have to go through the experience, but also be smart. If you can learn from someone that's already gone through the steps, cut down all that time, all that experience. If I could have skipped the 4 years and learned what I learned through the experiences, of course I would have done that. That's smart.
No doubt.
That's a smart thing to do, right? So
right.
Find somebody, like I said, you resonate with, has the values that you have, is the kind of man or woman you want to be, that actually has things you want to do in the kind of industry that resonates with your industry as well. That's the smartest way to be, right? Even though mindset's everything, though. So like my coaching, I do a lot of mindset stuff. And I don't care who you are, what industry you're in, as you know, Sean, this controls everything and will lead to success.
Everything.
And that's one reason why I've been successful, because my mind has always been one of my strongest things. Mm-hmm. And that leads to success in all areas. So yes, hire that coach. Yeah. I mean, I don't care if it's the last $1,500 you have. I have so many people that I've had do that. And then, it pays itself back 10, 20, 100x. You know what I mean? And just what you get out of it. But here's the thing, it's on you to implement it. Mm-hmm. You can't go to these events. You can't join these groups. You can't hire these coaches. We're not going to do the work for you. It's still
that's where people
still rely on you.
Yeah.
It's still on you. It's on you to get up every day and make that decision. And like I said, it's not a magic pill. It's not a magic formula. Yes, it's okay. I've done this. This is what I've done. This is what you should have done. Are you going to fucking do it? I can't control that.
Yeah, man. That's the biggest thing about, mentorship and the mentees, right? Mentees can use mentorship as a crutch and put the results or the lack of results on the actual mentor. And the reality is the coach's job is not to do the work for you. It's to point you in the right direction and let you know where the landmines are so you don't fucking step on them. That's what mentorship is.
And hold you accountable. There's got to be accountability. That's half the battle. But at the end of the day, you got to do the work yourself. And I've dealt with that.
Spot on, brother.
And you'll deal with it as you grow in your mentor, in your coaching business. Like I said, that's why you got to have a candid talk up front. But guys, hire that coach, hire that mentor.
I love it, brother. So eloquently put, as always. Listen, man, where can my audience find you, and how can they connect with you, and possibly how could they work with you?
So, at Til You Collapse, TILYOU Collapse is my clothing apparel brand. That's my main company. And then my personal Instagram is at Brian Nabavi, just my first and last name. I have a lot of fake accounts, so just make sure it's the one where my actual first and last name is together, spelled correctly. There's no underspaces or there's no multiple letters, and I'm sure you'll have my name on it, spelled just how it is.
There'll be links in the show notes for them just to click on.
And my three main companies are apparel, fitness apparel, Til You Collapse, mentor, coach, fitness, mindset, business, and then I'm in the mushroom industry as far as psilocybin and that whole thing. So
yes, he does the microdosing thing. A funny side note before I let you guys roll, I may or may not have purchased some whatever it's called from him before, and I had like one or two of them. Maybe it was like 1.5. So split the middle, and everything was fine. I was having a conversation, and I just felt like, oh my God, I feel like a fucking cross between Fergie and Jesus, just like in Step Brothers, right? And then as soon as the conversation was done, I was like, fuck this. I'm like all hot and shit. And I'm like trembling. I'm like, I need to go to bed. Fuck this. Never again. Oh man. But no, dude, listen, man, I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you once again hopping on. And if there's anything I could do to ever support you and, promote you and just be there for you, you've got the cell number, dude. I'm all ears.
Yeah. We're going to meet in person pretty soon.
Can't wait, bro. We got to do that. We need to freaking work it out. It really sucks that, you were so far away from where I was at in California about a week ago, but
if you ever come here, I do a thing called Podcast and Pump. Anybody that comes on my podcast, we record a podcast, we get a little workout in, and we get recorded, obviously, from both of it. So
that'd be dope, bro. That'd be dope. I'm trying to actually work out a trip up to NorCal this summer because obviously all my family's there, and I haven't been to NorCal since 2017. Oh, sorry, 2007. My bad. Like,
oh shit, that long.
Bro, I haven't been home, dude.
Dang.
Avoiding that shit like the plague. But yeah, dude, we'll have to get up for sure. We can talk offline and figure out how we're gonna work this thing out. But I would love to come record a show on Til You Collapse podcast. I love your podcast, and you know that. I shout you out from time to time, and it's really good. And then maybe I can, get in a weight room with you. And do you have like the little weights, like the 15s for me? Okay, little bitch weights. Yeah. Don't worry, I have enough time. I have enough time by the time I get there. I'll have a pump on me. So
that's on you.
Yeah, fucking damn right it is, right?
Ways to start eating that protein. That's the
bro. I'm already like 130 grams down today.
Already?
Oh, bro, I'm on.
It's 11.
You better go eat that cow.
All I had is my mushroom and some water.
Oh, Jesus, dude. You fucking fasting? What time is it? Oh, it's 11 there, right?
Just disappear.
Oh, shit, man. Well, listen, dude. God almighty. Get your damn protein, man. But listen, guys, I just want to remind you to, if you aren't already subscribed to the show, hit subscribe and leave an actual comment review with a 5-star rating if it was good. If it sucks, you leave a 1, but I don't think it sucked.
On Instagram, tag us. We're going to both promote this show. If you hit me up, I'll repost you. Everyone's going to get to see you do it.
Let's do it, man. All right, guys, until next time, you guys take care and get your asses to work. Peace.